Joe Giudice asserted that his former brother-in-law, Joe Gorga, was indeed in communication with federal authorities during a prior investigation concerning Joe and Teresa Giudice. Joe Giudice asserted that Melissa, the spouse of Gorga, was also implicated but operated discreetly behind the scenes. Furthermore, Giudice disclosed the reasons behind his restraint during the notorious physical confrontation with Gorga in the 5th season. Subsequent to the investigation, Teresa and Joe Giudice were ultimately incarcerated for fraud, and they subsequently divorced following his release. They engaged in intermittent disputes with the Gorgas for more than a decade on the reality television series Real Housewives of New Jersey. In an interview for the All About TRH podcast, Joe Giudice asserted that Joe Gorga was indeed in communication with federal authorities alongside my former business associate, as conveyed in a recording disseminated via Instagram. My ex-brother-in-law is a huge disappointment for doing that. I am indifferent to the prospect of engaging in conversation or meeting with him. Ultimately, to engage in such behavior, one must possess a profoundly disreputable character. His wife was also implicated, albeit she operated in the background, he continued. She was consistently present, and I am confident that they engaged in discussions regarding their chosen topics in the presence of the cameras. Furthermore, I am certain that the cameras broadcasted only that which they deemed appropriate for airing. However, I am confident that their discussions encompassed a significantly broader range of topics than those that were ultimately broadcast. The 52-year-old individual stated that Joe and Melissa have overstepped acceptable boundaries. Giudice asserted that he never engaged in any misconduct towards specific individuals on the program, including Gorga's brother-in-law, who alleged that Giudice owed him $1,000 on the grounds that they would have pursued legal action. During an interview with Joe Giudice on the Get Real with Kim D podcast, alumna Kim D. DiPaola expressed her singular regret regarding the program. When you and Joe Gorga had your fight, I wish they would have let you finish it up and beat that little dude, said Kim. My foremost regret is that the two of you were separated. Giudice disclosed that he had in fact restrained himself during that time, as he was on the verge of delivering a series of punches. However, I contemplated that if I were to physically assault this individual, I would subsequently experience feelings of guilt, he remarked. However, I ought to have done so. I should have gave him a greater thrashing. Nevertheless, he experienced a glimpse of what he might attain.